So this time of year, Andrew, I mean, what's like your typical week looks like? Because I know we have some citizen skiers probably will be going to some of those long distance events, and potentially in Iceland in May. I think that's the May race.
Between the Olympics and Oslo, the plan for me was just to get in a decent amount of volume, because it's a 50K, do some long ski sessions. You do sessions that are longer than 50K just to get used to the distance, and then some sort of a couple of interval sessions, just sort of longer threshold sessions to get used to back doing the longer type of training. So that's the plan before the 50K. And then I've got 2 more weekends of just normal World Cup racing after that. So then the plan is sort of standard, what I normally do between World Cup races, which will be probably 1 interval session, and it'll be shorter, higher speed than I've done normally because I've been so long altitude. I think it's good to get a little bit of higher lactate work, get used to the higher speed and that higher work rate, plus 1 strength session, 1 2 to 3 hour session, and then the rest just keeping it ticking over. So that'll be what I'm going to do before the World Cup races. And then when I get over to the long distance races, I'm going to do I'll do more specific work. There's a lot of double poling in these long races. They're all classic. Some of them are in flatter terrain, so then it'll maybe entirely double poling. So then I'm going to have at least 1 long, very long over distance double pole session a week, 4 hours plus, just to get muscularly. You just need that distance before long races. You just have to have done enough sessions like that. So for me, I should be getting better every week as we do the longer races, because the best way to get good at doing long races is doing long races. So I'll have 1 long double pole session per week, just gentle, and then I will have probably 1 interval session as well. If I'm just doing a normal long double pole, then I'll have a normal shorter interval session. But probably before this first long distance session, I'll have try and simulate a little bit of a long distance race. So I'll go out for a long ski and then finish off with intervals after 3 or 4 hours, just to try and get used to that higher work rate with a big amount of fatigue in my arms, because I think before my first long distance race with a lot of double poling, I'm just going to need to push myself through that. But then the weeks after that, it'll just be 1 long double pole session, sort of normal interval session, either running or classic with kick or skate, just to keep the capacity work ticking over. Apart from that, it'll just be sort of a few short sessions, 1 strength session probably, and just keeping everything ticking over.
Cool. So question for you, a lot of probably quite a bit of citizen skiers here in Midwest and probably other parts of United States. This time of year, snow melts pretty fast, especially, down south in some of the states. But there's still some races in the northern part of the United States, so people travel. What would you suggest, like, if for skiers that come down south and there is no snow, but they still want to race, drive up north and race? What would you suggest to do, like biking or running, or what type of activities you would suggest to do on a?
I would definitely say running is really good, and if you're far enough south and it's been warm enough and there's no snow on the roads, then roller skiing is an option. Not everybody's motivated for that at the end of the season, but that's probably the most specific and the best you can do. If not, I would say running with poles is very good. If you have access to a gym where there's a ski erg or a double pole machine or something like that, then they're super good. If you do a couple of long runs and then some intervals on the ski erg and maybe 1 longer session on the ski erg, if you can take it mentally, because it is very boring if you try and do a long session on the ski erg. But if you can manage to do that, then it is really, really good. So I've definitely when I operated my Achilles 2 years ago, I spent a lot of time just sitting using a ski erg. And as soon as I was back roller skiing, then I was in good shape compared to the other guys I was training with. So ski erg is an absolute outstanding form of training if you can cope with it mentally and you have access to it. But otherwise, running the poles, super good.
Okay, well, that's all I have really for questions for you this time of year. Um, I guess in 4 weeks after you do some more racing, we'll catch up, and before you jump into the long distance marathons.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that'd be good. I hope everyone gets on well with their training, and yeah, like definitely, I think at the end of the season when there's long days, plenty of sunshine, if you can, then if you do have snow, then it's good to just get out and do some longer sessions to not not think about it as training, but just getting out and being out and enjoying the sun. And that's kind of the best way of getting 3 miles, a good training session without it feeling like training. Maybe go out. If there's somewhere where you can stop for coffee, take a thermos with you, something like that. That's always what I quite like doing in the spring, and end up getting quite good shape when I'm meaning to have an off season.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, Andrew. Well, thank you very much. I'm gonna stop recording. So good luck with races in the next 4 weeks, and
Thank you very much.
we'll
Catch
talk
up in a
soon.
few weeks.
Thank you.